finally made it! City of Ravnica. Yeah, I think it's seen better days though. Excuse me, does anyone know where Karlov Manor is? Sorry, I don't speak Italian.
Excuse me, young man. Would you like an apple?
Yeah, I know that voice. You're the witch from Eldraine, that's right!
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just giving away delicious apples. Oh, look. There's one of my satisfied customers.
What's up, Planeswalkers? How you doing? How you doing? Today, things get serious. CEDH serious. Well, kind of. More on that later. Our commander is Animar, Soul of Elements, a elemental 1/1 that comes with some of the best protection in the game, and whenever we cast a creature spell, we put a +1/+1 counter on it. Creature spells we cast cost 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on Animar. Naturally, a card that can potentially make creature spells free is good, but we didn't just come for good. No, our goal is to make Animar as competitive as possible today. So our plan is to interact early while playing mana dorks and then combo in the mid game. The mid game being turn 4. Just CDH things. Speaking of CDH, while this deck list is certainly strong, with the current state of the game with Animar, we run into one major problem. The card itself. The mana cost simply requires too many colors, and Animar does require some setup to work. That's not to say Animar can't compete, but I want to put a disclaimer on a deck list that's the price of a 40k army. Now, if you have a commander you want covered in a video, leave a comment or join our channel Discord. So, starting off our creatures, we have a big one, Walking Ballista, which of course, we're not playing fairly as this is a combo piece for us to ping the table to death. Birds of Paradise is a premium mana dork as it can tap for any color. Bloom Tender is another mana dork that gets a lot better with our commander. Burning Tree Emissary in our deck is actually pretty good, as we can use this card with our commander to play a more expensive spell, since normally Burning Tree pays for itself, but with our commander we'll get a trigger and make our next creature spell cheaper. Cloud of Fairies is another cheap creature that lets us untap lands so we can combo off or hold up more interaction. Dockside Extortionist, which is a must in CDH because of the sheer amount of artifacts and enchantments, making it very easy to combo with this card. Hydroicasis is a way to draw our deck with infinite mana, but most of the time it should just be good value. Ornithopter of Paradise, as a colorless creature, especially one that makes mana, is very good in a deck where the majority of the time it'll be free. Rattleclaw Mystic is another mana dork that can help us get our commander out. Spell Skype for protection, and it's another colorless creature. Baron Master Wizard, which is here to combo with Dockside Extortionist. Elvish Spirit Guide to hopefully get a faster commander out. Eternal Witness to bring something important back. Fierce Empath, as most of our combos involve creatures, and most of the time this card should be pretty cheap to play. Zavala, Heart of the Wild, it is a combo piece, and hey, some extra cards too. Simian Spirit Guide, again, we want to consistently get our commander out on turn 2. Weedy Roastmaster, so that if we do hit one of our infinite creature loops, we can kill the table instead of just one player with Animar. Wood Elves for more mana while getting more triggers out of our commander. Ancestral Statue, because this card is a great finisher in an Animar deck, it combos with just your commander. And if you're confused about that, don't worry, because that is the combo I'll be covering at the end of the video. Beast Whisperer for extra cards, and that usually helps us win the game. Gem Razor for some artifact or enchantment interaction, while also giving Animar trample in case we need it. Phyrexian Metamorph to copy something broken, and if we're lucky, this card will actually be completely free if we pay life. Teamer Sabertooth for more combo with Dockside, and unlike Baron, the cost to start the combo will require 1 less treasure. Acidic Slime for some removal, Colonian Hydra to hopefully double the number of counters on Animar, Paragon Drake for another way to combo, Wandering Archaic to steal some powerful spells, or worst case, tax them at least. Xenagos, God of Revels to give haste and hopefully beat someone out of the game. Consecrated Finks because we love cards. Deadeye Navigator to add a little more consistency to our deck with all our creature loops. It works with Dockside as well. Vigor to combo with Walking Ballista. It basically lets it grow infinitely because you point the damage at Walking Ballista itself to put infinite counters on it. Hullbreaker Horror, since we can combo off with the fast mana artifacts we're playing in the deck. Maelstrom Wanderer for a combo with Zavala, Heart of the Wilds, but if you're a gambling man, Cascade is always fun. Apex Devastator for more Cascade fun, and again, we are playing Zavala. The last include is my Timmy pick. I simply just couldn't resist. It is Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, because big Eldrazi are fun, and this one can be really backbreaking. Now, onto the spells. First, we have crop rotation, so we can grab important lands like Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, or Gaia's Cradle for the oil princes out there. Flesh of Storm is a cheap counter. Green Sun Zenith, so we can guarantee that we'll hit our Dockside Extortionist. Rapid Hybridization for more cheap interaction, and most of the time a 3/3 creature is ignorable. Stubborn Denial, which gets a lot better as we can grow our commander fast. Swan Song, there's a theme here. Worldly Tutor to go find whatever creature we're missing for the combo. Cyclonic Rift, because if we make it to 6 mana, our opponents do deserve to get rifted. Farseek for some ramp. Growth Spiral for ramp, but this time it's instant speed. Heroic Intervention for some protection. Mana Drain, as the colorless mana might give us enough to cast an Ulamog. Uniform is another creature tutor, but there's a restriction on it. Deflecting Swat is so we can tap out for our commander and still have some interaction. Eldritch Evolution for another Neoform type effect. Fabricate, which is pretty much only in the deck so that we can find Great Henge. Fierce Guardianship, as free negates are great in a combo heavy format. Natural Order is our last creature tutor, and Force of Will for those clutch turns. And finally, Submerge. That way we have a free way to deal with a creature if we ever had to tap out. For our artifacts and enchantments, I'll be starting with the ramp. First we have Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, and Soul Ring. For everything else, we have Hardened Scales to grow our commander faster, the Ozolith, so worst case if our opponents do manage to kill our commander, we'll be able to at least keep the counters. Mr. Homura for some extra cards. In a format where turn 1 is littered with 1 mana or free artifacts, this card puts in a lot of work. Lightning Greaves for some protection and haste, and this also helps the Savala combo. Sylvan Library for good card selection. Just remember, while your life total is a resource, it's a limited one. Great Henge because it does a lot even without the card draw, and we shouldn't have a problem getting this card to be cheap when we cast it. And finally, Rhystic Study because cards are good. For the Manabase, normally I'd tell you to follow your budget, but let's be honest, the budget died the moment you decided to build a close to CEDH power level deck. If you'd like to copy a Manabase though, I do have one in the deck list found in the description of this video. My land recommendation for this deck is Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, because if we are playing a card like Submerge, then we're going to want a way to guarantee that our opponents will have a forest. For the combo section, I'll cover one of the combos found in the deck, the rest are for you to find. So for this combo, we need only our commander and Ancestral Statue. Oh, and our commander would need 4 +1/+1 counters. To start, we'll cast Ancestral Statue by paying 0. Animar will trigger, putting a +1 counter on it. Ancestral Statue enters the battlefield, will return itself from the battlefield to your hand. You can repeat this to grow Animar infinitely to take a player with no blockers out of the game. That's going to be all for today's deck list. Let me know how I did, or tell me about your favorite CEDH combo in the comments below. Replies with Thassa's Oracle will get banned. If you like to support the channel, then subscribe or join, and I'll see you in the next video.